welcome to the regular meeting of the Recreation and Parks Commission. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? And Lee Davis will lead us from out there.
Yes, all right.
Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Lee. You did a great job. Brandy, roll call, please.
Commissioner Julie Stolniak,
Present.
Commissioner Dave Loops,
Present.
Vice Chairperson Kelly Watson, and Chairperson Bob Moda.
I'm here, thank you. We will gonna just move our agenda around just a little bit. We're gonna go to director's comments right now.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Good evening, Honorable Chair, members of the Commission. Before we begin this evening, I did want to provide some information that we'll have a new commissioner joining us shortly. Her name is Jeanette Gant. I know some of you are familiar with Ms. Gant as she was an employee here a couple of years ago working in the aquatics program. So we are looking forward to that. But the other side of the good news is that our wonderful Commissioner Lee Davis will no longer be on our commission. So I asked Lee to come tonight so we could acknowledge him and recognize him for his years of service. During my first year here, he's really, really been helpful to me in helping, especially to provide a lot of background and history about the aquatics facility and the plunge. And I just really appreciate his dedication to this community, to this department, particularly to aquatics. And I am going to miss working with him, but I know I will still be doing that in just a different capacity. But I wanted to acknowledge Mr. Davis, and I'm sure the commission might have some other comments as well. And then if Mr. Davis would like to address the commission.
Lee, would you like to stand up and say anything? You don't have to.
Yes, he
But
does.
we might have a few things to say about you.
Yes.
Have I ever been short on comments? The one thing, it's been a pleasure to serve. I take a lot of pride in having been a part of a number of different committees and the commission as a whole, serving with the golf course, the aquatics facility, a lot of the plunge stuff. As you know, aquatics is my passion. But I found myself getting into more things like the transportation committee, realizing that I had been on a number of committees. I wanted to go with the Gateway because I live so close. And when you're on this commission, it gives you the ability to actually look into and try to help do things. And I just want to thank you guys for allowing me to be here. The way I thought of it when I came in 8 years ago was I was just holding the seat for Rob Croxall so that when his little beer thing failed, he could come back and take over. And apparently it didn't fail. He's doing okay. And then I couldn't be happier. And the reason why I came, other than being asked to come, is that I truly believe I was the second best candidate for the position this year. And I think you have a great candidate coming in, and I think she will be doing fantastic things, and I couldn't be happier. And I didn't want anyone to think that I was disgruntled or anything, but I had a good time at my interview because I knew we had another great candidate. So thank you very much, and I truly do appreciate the ability to serve with you guys.
Lee, your passion for aquatics and your passion for everything, it showed that the city of El Segundo is better because you were up here. And I specifically want to thank you for taking care of this position right here for the year that I was out. And you did a great job. And so thank you very much for what you've done for the city of El Segundo.
So the world needs more Lee Davises, right? Like El Segundo needs more of you. Like we need more people who are willing to put in the time and the energy and the passion for betterment of all. Like I don't remember you ever doing anything, even though you're an aquatics guy, it wasn't for you, it was for the rest of the world and the rest of the swimmers. So I think you're a model citizen. I think that you're a great example for kids, and I thank you for your service.
Yeah, I enjoyed working with you, Lee. I mean, we've known each other since high school, so we go back a long way. And I think we're losing a wealth of information on the pool and aquatics. And hopefully you'll find something else to do now that you're fully retired. Maybe Deborah will have something for you. But we'll see you around, and we hope that you stay involved. Thank you.
Yeah, Ally mentioned, you know, she'd still be working with you, and I anticipate that you will not, your passion has not gone away. You're not going away. We would appreciate, I'm gonna speak for us all, we would appreciate your input at these meetings ongoing, if you're willing to come and give us your opinion. On the side, I know you can too, but it's good to hear it publicly as well. So we would love to have you continue in as much as you would be willing to.
My phone numbers won't change. I won't block you. So thank you very much.
Don't feel like that, okay. You're more than welcome to. Okay, thank you, Honorable Chair. I do have a couple of additional comments. I did want to let the commission know that our Recreation Superintendent, Aricia Hester, has returned to work. We're very grateful. She came back on Monday. I'm trying to give her a little bit of space and not bombard her with all the things I want her to do. But we're very, very pleased to have her back. So her office will be at the library where my office was for the time being. We'll let you know if that changes, but I'd encourage you, if you're, in the area and you want to stop by and say hi to Aricia, I know she'd appreciate it. She will resume attending commission meetings next month. She had a prior engagement for this evening, so we're looking forward to having her back and kind of getting our team a little bit back to normal. We still have some other important folks missing, but it certainly helps. So because Lee is no longer on the commission and Ms. Gant isn't here, I also just wanted to provide a quick update on the plunge. Elias Sassoon and the consultants made a presentation last night, gave an update on the plunge. They talked in great depth about the chlorination system. There was a question about whether saltwater would be an option. They provided some really good information about why it would not be a good option. They talked about some of the changes to the layout of the facility. We added a couple of family restrooms at the, I guess, what side of the building is that? That's the south side of the building, so that a parent with a child, particularly of a different gender, would be able to walk into a locker room and the child could go into the restroom without having to go through the general locker room area. So we thought that was a good idea. So there are 2 restrooms on either side. They also were able to provide an office space for aquatic staff downstairs next to the instructional pool, and we will still have 2 smaller offices upstairs that will probably double as lifeguard rooms and office space. We'll determine how that's going to be, but we were very pleased for that. I think the estimated cost was $10.5 million. We do have a little bit of a shortfall, and I will be bringing to the commission next month and then the council in August a capital campaign program I've been working on. And it looks like I've already gotten some calls from community members today that there are some other folks that are interested in participating and donating to the project now that it's really kind of gaining some speed. So the timeline, we're still on track with the timeline for the project to be bid later this year, early in 2024, unless, of course, we have any more unexpected challenges, which, as you all know, once you break into a building and start tearing walls down, sometimes you find surprises. But other than that, we're making some really good momentum, and also we will be interviewing potential project managers for the plunge next week. So Elias, Daryl, and I will be interviewing 3 firms who have submitted RFPs to manage the constructability of the pool. The current consultants are working more on the design, on overseeing the design, and now that we're going to be moving into construction, we're going to be bringing on another team that has more specific experience in that area. So I think it was all pretty good news last night at the council meeting, and the rest of the things that I want to update you on will be covered later in the agenda. So that concludes my comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And
Should I ask a question now about what she said, or should I
You
wait?
can.
Please go ahead.
So a year, I don't know how long ago, 2, 3 years ago now, the different designs for the plunge came through the commission. Does council no longer have an appetite to run those design changes through the commission? Is that no longer gonna be?
Well, I think that was the purpose of the aquatic subcommittee, so there were, I think, 2 members of the commission, that were on that committee. And I think the idea was that they would provide the
Represent.
feedback on behalf of the commission.
It's not a complaint, I just wanna
Yes.
know, like,
Yes.
so we're no longer involved in any of that,
I think
Okay.
at this point, the design is moving forward from what I understand.
okay?
Yes. And I think the construction drawings are about 85% complete.
Alrighty.
So hopefully your representatives have, provided important feedback, and I think you guys will be pleased with the design.
Can I ask you, is there still plans to do memorabilia
Yes,
at the site?
yes.
Okay.
So, we will be, creating a historical exhibit. We are gonna be retaining all the items that are in the building, and then working with the historical group, because apparently they have a lot of other items, photos and that. So we'll be working on that. That will be included in the building.
Okay.
Okay. With that, we're gonna move to presentations, and there are 3 of them tonight.
Yes. Right, so our first presentation, this is like my favorite part of all of our meetings, is doing an employee spotlight. This month, we chose to highlight and recognize Linnea Palmer. All of us have worked with Linnea, all of us would agree, she's very deserving of this acknowledgement. She has transitioned into a new role in the last year, in a challenging time for the department, with myself coming on as a new director, Brandy coming on as a new administrative assistant, and several staff being out. It's been a particularly challenging year, and Linnea has really stepped up. So in addition to all of the great things she's done in aquatics, we're just so grateful for all the administrative support that she's providing now. She's a wonderful team member, she's a cheerleader, she's positive. She's just fantastic, and I think everybody in the department agrees, and that's why we have chosen to recognize her this evening. I won't read all of the words because I can't see them that well, but
We're lucky to have her.
Yes.
She's the same person she's been for her entire life, which is exactly as you described. An amazing person and a good person, and fantastic for the department and the city. She could be here up every month if we wanted to.
yes.
I'm glad. I know she doesn't want to have this happen right here, but I'm just glad it
She
did.
does, she hates it, but
So congratulations anyway.
yes,
Congratulations, and well-deserved, as we all know.
yes.
Yeah, congrats, Linnea.
Thank you.
Okay, recreation staff summer training.
Yes, so I think Brandy's going to move to the next slide here. I just wanted to acknowledge the recreation team, particularly Joseph Lormans, Rachel Cummings, Ryan Delgado, and Sean Green, who conducted an annual summer training, an all-hands summer training in May at the Gordon Clubhouse. So this is really a neat activity when all of the summer staff come in, and before they start work, they get to sort of learn about the goals of the department and why we're doing what we're doing, and then also get to know one another, get to know the supervisors. It's just a time to sort of energize them and get them excited about what's ahead. A lot of them are working with youth, and they're doing so all day long, often outside in the sun, at the pool, taking the kids on field trips. I mean, it's a very, very challenging job that requires a lot of energy and a lot of dedication. And so I think it's really important that the staff conduct this training annually, to have that time to bond with them, and also to facilitate, all of the education that's important for working with children. So it was a great training. I heard everybody had a great time, and I just wanted to share that with the commission.
Anything? Okay, thank you. We're moving to annual community sponsorship campaign.
Okay, so I know that I have talked with the commission about this before. This has been a program that we have had in the department for several years, but in the last year, I've really been working with staff to sort of revitalize the program, just kind of give it some new energy, And really, my goal is to capture a lot of the larger businesses east of PCH and really get them engaged in all of the things we do in the community. We do have a lot of local folks, Chevron and Bill Ruane and Scott Nickel, and we have many who have been regular sponsors, but we've got a lot of folks that haven't been involved that I think would like to be involved. So we put together a new program, and really it's sort of the same idea that, you know, people make a contribution and in return they get benefits, so marketing benefits. You know, they're able to showcase their business or organization at events, but we have added a couple of new components, particularly in the areas of council recognition and recognition on El Segundo Media, so really making it beneficial for them to be involved, not just, you know, maybe having their name on a flyer, but really, you know, encouraging them to have booths at events and come out and interact with the community, but then also to get recognition in front of the city council, because I know that that's something that's really important for them. So you all have a copy of the brochure in your packet this evening, but I think also we have a little video that we are going to share with you. This is a video that we created so that I could send it out to potential sponsors, just to kind of pull on the heartstrings and make it a little more personal. So we thought we'd share that with you this evening.
Hi, I'm Allie Mancini, and I'm the Director of Recreation Parks and Libraries for the City of El Segundo. The annual community sponsorship campaign is designed to give the Department of Recreation, Parks, and Library the ability to expand our reach within the community by offering additional programs, services, and activities. While the city funds a variety of these programs and services with general fund dollars, there is always a need for more. More beautiful parks for children to play in, more facilities for exercise and wellness, more books in the library, more swim lessons for kids, and more meals for seniors. This is where our partnerships with local businesses come into play. Businesses in the community who become sponsors provide that additional funding to allow us to engage even more residents than we typically would with our general fund monies. Sponsorships allow us to enhance many beloved community events, such as our annual tree lighting ceremony, by adding new experiences and elements every year.
Hi, I'm Bill Ruane with RE/MAX in El Segundo. I've been sponsoring the events for Parks and Recs for approximately 15 years now. I find it incredibly rewarding both business-wise and personally. To have the whole community involved in these events is absolutely outstanding. And some of the events I sponsor is the Hometown Fair, the Richmond Street Fair, you have the Elderfest, you have the Family Campout. My favorite event is the 4th of July. It starts with pie-eating contests, other games, other events, but it ends with the fireworks show that's just incredible. As you can see with the flags behind me, it's a very patriotic city, and that makes the event even more special. Hopefully your company will see the same benefits I've seen in the last 15 years by sponsoring these events from Parks and Recs.
Hi, my name's Jaime Bermudez, and I'm the El Segundo Police Chief. We're proud to partner with the Recs and Park Department for a number of community events. The El Segundo Police Department believes that offering a variety of programs for kids and teens in our community, such as after-school programs and sports, helps keep them engaged in healthy activities during out-of-school time. Youth that are involved in extracurricular activities tend to stay out of trouble more often than peers who have afternoons and weekends without constructive activities. I grew up playing sports, and I know how important it is to keep our kids engaged in the community and keeping them out of trouble.
Hi, I'm Jeff Wilson. I'm the Corporate Affairs Manager for Chevron and the Chevron El Segundo family of employees. There is nothing that brings a greater sense of pride to a workforce than being civically engaged. These business partnerships and these civic opportunities that the city presents to our doorstep as a workforce helps you shape the being of your business presence itself, from your business development opportunities, from your routine business operations, from your community relations engagement, from your relationship building opportunities with opinion leaders, community leaders of all different types. And I can't imagine any business, small, medium, or large, not taking advantage of the business partnership opportunities and the sponsorships that the city just continually provides throughout the year.
Part of what makes El Segundo so great, as we hear from a lot of our residents, are the community programs. I have fond memories of being right here in Rec Park with my kids for the Easter egg hunt, is just one example. The 4th of July fireworks, the Hometown Fair. These events are brought to you by our incredible Recs and Park Department, but they rely pretty heavily on corporate sponsors. So we're asking you to please consider sponsoring some of these great programs to bring our wonderful community together.
Becoming a community sponsor allows businesses to really invest in the community where the businesses live. By sharing resources with the community, your business builds a sense of connection with our residents who become your loyal customer and advocates. There are so many wonderful programs to support, and all sponsors receive a variety of benefits that help market your business and build your brand. I hope you'll join us in our continued efforts to make El Segundo the best place to work, live, and play in Los Angeles County.
So that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
So you've gone around because you went to the Rotary Club and made a presentation.
Yes.
Have you gone to any of the other organizations, and how has it been received?
That's the first one I've done. So we're just finishing getting all the materials printed, and we'll kick off. So it will be an annual program from July 1 to June 30th to coincide with our budget year. So I'm hoping to go and make presentations to Kiwanis, to all the local service organizations, and then I've asked Mayor Boyles to join me in meeting with some of the corporate sponsors, the corporate partners that we have here in the community. So I'll continue to be doing these probably for the next month or so.
Okay.
It was great going to the Rotary, by the way.
Okay. Another question I have is, how is it that you came up with the different sponsorship amounts? I read through the different things, and for instance, you have 4th of July and you have an estimated attendance of 10,000, and then and your platinum sponsorship at $10,000. And then summer concerts in the park, you have an estimated attendance of 1,000 each week, which that's only what, I think 4 weeks that we have concerts? 5 weeks. And so that's, say, roughly 5,000 attendance overall, and it's the same level at a $10,000 platinum. So I'm just wondering how you came up with the different things, because like the summer reading program, to me, seems a little pricey at $10,000 with an attendance of, say, 900.
So really what I looked at is the cost of running these, well, I looked at a couple of things. The cost of running the programs and what we've typically seen people be interested in sponsoring. So there really is no formula, because if we do it based on attendance, there's events that maybe have more attendance but don't cost us as much. So we want to give more benefits if they're providing a higher percentage of subsidy, basically, to the program. So that's really what I focused on.
Okay.
Does the chamber have any, can they help you get out to people too?
Yes.
Marcia? She's
yes.
involved, okay.
Yes,
She's,
so I have already talked with, Barbara's gonna get me set up with a meeting with Marcia.
Thank you for your presentations.
You're very welcome.
We're going to move to public communications. Anyone? Step up to the mic, state your name, please.
Hi, my name is Barbara Boland. I live here on Whiting Street, and I'm one of 2 people who have organized the founding members of the El Segundo Blue Butterfly Conservancy. Monica Davis is the other one, and we've both spoken to you before. But what I want to say are a few things. First thing is that progress is being made. Thank you so much. I don't know if you know, but Park and Recs, thank you so much to board members who aren't even here, and to Allie and to Joseph for putting in our first plantings of a habitat garden for our little El Segundo blue butterfly in Library Park. It's so exciting. When I saw that, I was just, my heart, I cried. It was just, we really did something. And thank you so much. So we now have the beginning of a native garden there, and eventually we'll have educational signage, which will be fabulous, because that's the other part we want to have to educate everyone. In addition to that, the El Segundo Blue Butterfly is now included in the Planning Commission's downtown specific plan, the documents, which is another committee we've been going in front of, which specifically state to protect the rare and endangered El Segundo blue, including planting going forward at the Civic Center here. So they've already made note of that, and hopefully as they go forward, it will be included. To close, I just wanted to say that Monica Davis and I, she's away right now, we're going to be offering 3 free tours at Dockweiler, which is where the last remaining native site is for the El Segundo blue butterfly. It's a very small area, and it's the sea cliff buckwheat that's there. And we're offering 3 free, we'll have educational information, tours there to see the El Segundo blue butterfly in their native habitat during their mating season. So this is, I have 3 dates. I could read them to you, but I also printed them out on little things so you could take them. They're all in July. Everyone focuses between Palos Verdes, Bayona Creek, and now us. We focus on July 8th, but we're not doing the 8th, we're doing the 9th. July 8th is both Bayona Creek and Palos Verdes, but, and other places along the beach where they've planted the habitat. So we're focusing on a Thursday before, the Sunday, the 9th, and Wednesday. They'll be for 2 hours from 10 to 12, and I have directions where we'll meet. You don't need to sign up, it's free. We'll be there with information. I'm having little buttons made with our little butterfly. And this is the last remaining the only habitat that's original from our ancient dunes. So thank you so much for your support, and I look forward to a lot more going forward.
Thank you.
Yay! Would you like some? This is just a little dates. We will be posting in the library. We got permission today from the library.
Great.
To go ahead with that. And, I only have 2, but it's gonna be posted at the library too. But you can post it. So thank you so much, everybody. We look forward to a lot more.
I have a quick question. Would you mind, since you seem to be an expert, is the cliffside buckwheat also endangered?
It's not the cliffside, it's called the sea cliff.
Is the sea cliff, is that endangered as well?
No, actually, it's
not.
being,
Cable, I think we have the council meeting playing.
it's being propagated, actually.
Sorry, can you say that a little bit louder into there? Thank you. Technical difficulties? Technical
later,
excitement.
Lee.
Bye,
See-
Lee, thank
see you later,
you.
Lee.
See you soon.
Excellent job with the butterfly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara.
Yeah, so it's being propagated by Palos Verdes Land Conservancy, also Theodore Payne, and we have some money that's going to be coming into us, and we're going to be, actually Palos Verdes Land Conservancy will give it to us for half the price. So instead of it being $10 for a gallon, it'll be $4. They're doing it because they're like 9. So we've got a lot of stuff, and we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Barbara.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any others? We will close public communications. Move to the consent calendar. Approval of the minutes of the Recreation and Parks Commission meeting of May 17th, 2023.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's 3-0. There's no unfinished business tonight. We'll move to new business, private instructor permit. Ally.
Yes, good evening, Honorable Chair, members of the commission. Pleased to be sharing with you a new program that was approved by the City Council last night. I believe I've spoken with most of you about this. We are going to be implementing a private, let me make sure I have the name right, a private instructor permit fee. As many of you know, during the pandemic, as a courtesy to a lot of the local businesses in town, particularly fitness businesses, as a courtesy to them because they weren't able to operate inside their facilities, we allowed them to conduct their activities in the park. And many did so, took advantage of that, and it was a great opportunity, I think, for everyone during that time. As the pandemic has started to ease, most people have returned to their brick and mortar, but we do have several other folks that are still conducting business activity in the park, some residents, some non-residents. So I worked with staff to create a fitness or private instructor permit so that these folks that want to do business in the park would be able to come in and get a permit. They would have to show their business license and proof of insurance and pay us an hourly rate of $15 per hour. You can see we've attached a map into the report here that shows we will be rolling this out at Recreation Park and Library Park initially. Those seem to be our hot spots. And each instructor who comes in and gets a permit, applies for a permit and receives a permit, will be limited to 5 hours per week in one of the locations that you see on the map. So this gives us a little bit of an ability to manage the number of folks that are in the park. I do get calls from residents more recently, fairly often, about instructors that are in the parks who have their equipment out on walkways, weights, and different apparatus that make it challenging for folks who just want to walk around the park. So this will help us. We'll be able to implement some rules and regulations about where that equipment can be placed and how many people can be in one area at a time, et cetera. So at the discussion last night at the council, there was, I think, some questions about, well, how are we going to monitor this? And we're not going to be able to get everybody, and that's accurate. We won't be able to catch everybody, and our intention is not to spend hours and hours and hours of staff time going out into the park and seeing who's using the park for business. But this gives us a tool for those hot spots and those people that we do see out there regularly that are monopolizing the space, and which is then preventing other, just general public from using those spaces. So I think it's a step in the right direction. We are going to launch this as a 6-month pilot program, so we will determine if it's helpful, just to kind of see what the challenges are and if this is working, and then, reevaluate at that point. If we want to roll it out to other parks and allow this at other parks, then we could do that, but we kind of want to see what the response is. Do we have slides or no? Okay, yeah. I'm gonna show the
And it will take effect
July 1st.
7/1, okay.
If we don't have it, that's okay. I think it's in there though. Okay. But I know that most of you know that we do have a contract instructor program already. So the difference kind of between these two is the private instruction is really for one-on-one instruction. And anybody that wants to do something for a larger group, like a class, a boot camp, a day camp, something like that, they would then be forced to come in and either get on contract and work that route. This is really for one-on-one instruction only. There are several other municipalities that have dealt with this in very different ways. The city of Los Angeles, they charge a flat rate per day of $150, whether the instructor is there for 1 hour or 10 hours. Santa Monica does an annual or a quarterly fee, and then also an annual fee. So that's how they manage it. And then 3 local communities, Redondo Beach, Manhattan, and Torrance, they don't allow it at all. So it kind of is all over the board as to how different cities are managing it. So again, that's why this will be a pilot program. We'll see how it works, see if it helps. But we do certainly, it is a little bit problematic because of the additional wear and tear on the facility, and just the sheer number of people that are out in the parks doing these types of things. And, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding. I think the community sees an activity taking place in the park and assumes it's a city program. And they're usually not, especially if they're at Library Park. And also, I know that some of you are on the Parents Network. I've seen children as, youngsters as 16 years old offering to have day camps in these parks. And that, that presents a concern as far as liability. So this is gonna kind of help us get our arms around it a little bit. And then, again, we'll reevaluate in 6 months and see where we're at. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Julie?
Yes, so I'm glad to see that this has finally come to fruition, because I know I brought this up quite a while ago.
Yes.
And my concern was some of the outlying parks where it's being done early morning, like, say, Sycamore, Washington, and Holly, Kansas Park. And some are holding with numerous people. Some are businesses that are set up for soccer or different things early, and this is all early morning, like 6:30 in the morning. And those parks are not listed here. And so those were my concerns, was because, liability-wise,
Right.
like for instance, the one that's at Sycamore Park, and then the people come out and then they're running on the streets and then go back to the park. So, I was just wanting to know, those parks are not in this plan right now, correct? It's mainly concentrating on what you have here. So so now does everybody just flock to those three because they're not gonna be monitored?
Well, so no, so basically, the municipal code already prohibits this type of activity. This activity is not allowed in parks, so what we'll have to do is we'll have to continue to enforce at the other parks, and we'll do that, that'll be part of our enforcement plan, and they will basically be shepherded over to one of the parks. If they wanna continue, you know, that activity, they'll have to work at one of the parks that we offer, and/or with the larger ones, the larger classes that you mentioned, they would have to become contract instructors. So we will still enforce, and that's part of the enforcement plan. But we just don't have enough staff right now or resources to allow that to be one of our facilities or one of our areas where people can do that, because we just can't go out and monitor it all day long. So we will do some enforcement. Again, we're not gonna catch it all, but we're gonna start enforcement and education. That's gonna be our first step.
So the $15 an hour is, whether they have one person or three people, or you're saying that they can only do one
It's
person?
only one-on-one instruction. If they wanna have 3 people, 5 people, 20 people, they have to come in and get on contract with us. And in that situation, we take 30% of the revenue. They keep 70%.
Okay. And then they're having to have, insurance.
Right.
Is it like $1 million policy or something like that? I mean,
I think it is $1 million policy. Yeah. It is, yeah.
okay. Okay.
Dave, anything?
I just had one, and that was, and I like that it's a 6-month trial.
Yes.
Because this might get fleshed out in that. But I just thought, as a private instructor, the minimum of 1 hour, I like the 5 hours per week, but the minimum of 1 per day is kind of tough, because a lot of times you get all your stuff set up and you want to do like 2 or 3 hours in a row. And so that might be something that
Okay.
would
For us
get
to
fleshed
think
out. Yeah, just to allow, maybe just because 1 hour, it's just hard to mobilize,
Right.
I think. That was my only comment, but again, the 6-month idea, those things will all kind of work themselves out. That was my only comment.
As I told you the other day, I love it. So,
Let me ask one other question.
Yes.
How has or has it not happened yet, what has the feedback been from the instructors?
To be very honest, I think they're a little concerned. You know, it's a big change, but I think, you know, the challenge I have as a Park and Rec director is I've got instructors who are sharing revenue with us and who are going through the proper channels and who we know have insurance. And those are all, you know, things that I think we need to have in place so that we're mitigating our liability. I mean, the reality is if someone falls, they're not gonna sue their yoga teacher that's right here. They're gonna sue the city. So several have kind of expressed some frustration and then decided to go ahead and get on board. So, and we've given them we've been educating a lot, and we've been having a lot of pre-conversations with them. And then we will enforce slowly and gently. You know, our goal is not to make people unhappy or to cause problems, but we do want everybody to play by the rules, so to speak, and pay their fair share for the wear and tear in the facility.
Okay.
this is a receive and file, so there's nothing other than our comments
Right.
for you. So thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay, reports of subcommittees, aquatic subcommittee.
I think I gave that
You already
update,
did that one,
yes.
so we're gonna take that off.
Right.
Transportation subcommittee,
I can go ahead and give that a report
Please.
since none of the members are here.
that went to
Um,
council last.
Yes, so I want to give a lot of credit to the Transportation Committee and Recreation Supervisor Ryan Delgado to bring to fruition a really neat program that they're going to call El Segundo Connect. So I'm sure most of you remember that we had a lunchtime shuttle. It hasn't been here since I've been here for a year. I don't know if it shut down during COVID, but there's been a lot of interest in bringing that back. But Commissioner Watson in particular had a great idea to expand the service so that we could assist parents, particularly with getting their kids to and from the different sports facilities for practice, a lot of those practices happen, you know, right after school or at 4 o'clock, and parents, you know, maybe aren't home, or they're rushing home to get their kids somewhere, or rushing to get them picked up. So she had this, what I thought was a brilliant idea, to expand the service so that kids could get around the city to those locations, you know, more easily. So the program will run, I believe it's from 11:30 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. It's a pilot program that would start in September, August or September. Yes. And it runs for 3 months. I think Ryan came and made a presentation, so you know the gist of the program, but that was approved by council last night, so we are very excited about that. And I know that they're continuing to work on some other projects and potentially looking at other ways of continuing to improve mobility throughout the community. So they're a very hardworking committee, very dedicated, and that's the update I have.
Okay, thank you. And Youth Sports Council? No meeting. Thank you. Again, director reports. Ally, want to keep going?
Yes. Well, you all have my report as part of your packet this evening, so really I wanted to just see if you had any questions on any of the information. I think we've kind of highlighted a lot of the things that are going on in the department that we've been working on, but certainly if you have any other questions, we'd be glad to answer them. Okay.
I am seeing none.
All right.
Okay. Excuse me. Commissioner comments. Julie?
Really, I have nothing at this time, which is unusual. But I'm glad to see, even though she's not here tonight, that Aracia has returned to us. And Rachel did a great job while she was in that position. But I'm glad to see that Aracia was able to make it back. And hopefully everything will continue smoothly. So other than that, just appreciate the work that all the city employees do each and every day.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Lubes, Dave?
We already thanked Lee, but I feel compelled to, during my comments, to thank him again. The city needs volunteers. The city needs engaged citizens. The city needs people like Lee Davis, and I thank him for his service.
Well, I have to thank him again, too. Lee, you made it fun. And your hard work and just your passion and caring for the city. So thank you.
You know, the other thing, I'm gonna say one more thing, and that is, and this applies to you guys too, you know, I work far away, and so I'm not involved in as many committees, and so I also appreciate both of you and Lee's, the number of hours that you have spent. These meetings are, as far as time spent, nothing compared to what you guys do and Lee has done, so I think you guys should be thanked as well.
Well, thank you. And Linnea, congratulations. Yeah. And with that, we're going to go back to Ally again, Director's comments.
I don't believe I have anything additional at this time. Thank you.
Okay. And it was a quick meeting. It went well. So, and we'll adjourn to the July 19th, 2023 meeting.
Thank you.